Howdy, welcome to Todd's Tips. Today I want to give you 8 Periscope tips that you can do right now. Now Periscope's a really amazing platform and I'm super excited about it. I'm using it a lot, sharing my journey, asking random questions. Often it ends in all sorts of types of conversations and connections. It's a really powerful tool and I urge you to start scoping rather than just watching. So here are 8 tips to how to make your Periscopes better. My first tip is to wait. Okay, because when you start your Periscope, no one's there. Often I get to a Periscope a few seconds into it going live and they've already started talking about what they're going to do and they've given away some of the information. You think, well, I'm a bit late. And then you'll find that the broadcaster has to keep going back over what they've been saying. Try and wait. Don't wait too long, but wait until you've got a few people on, say hello to a couple of people. Consider yourself like your own warm-up act. Spend a few seconds just saying hello to a few people. Be amazed at the results on that one. Now, the second tip is to make sure you look down the lens. Okay, it's really important that you look down the lens. That may sound a weird thing to do on a smartphone. If you look at your iPhone or your Android, you'll see the lens at the very top. You need to look right at that lens because then you're looking right down the lens, like how about you now. When people talk to you like this, it's really weird. Or when they look like this, or when you get the top of their head, it's not very engaging. You're trying to engage an audience, so try to look down the lens. Okay, now tip 3 is to reply to the comments. Now this is quite difficult. So on Periscope, if this was Periscope now, there'd be loads of replies and comments coming up and down here and it'd be flashing and then they just disappear. It's really hard to keep on top of all those. And I wouldn't say reply to all the comments, but if you're on Periscope, the whole idea is to interact with the audience. I've seen Periscopes before where people just broadcast and they ignore all the comments. That's not really the idea. It's not the idea of social media and it's not the powerful part of Periscope. You'll be almost missing half of Periscope if you do that. Okay, so make sure you reply to the comments. If you're on a really busy one, it can be difficult because if you're going to reply to all of them, it can slow down your scope. So use that one with caution. Tip 4 is have a focus. Have something you're actually going to do on your broadcast. So the focus of this Todd's tip is talking about Periscope. That's my focus. I'm not going to go off and talk about other things. On Periscope, it's very easy to get distracted. You can say, I'm going to give you away 5 top tips for shearing sheep, and all of a sudden, you're teaching people how to milk a cow. It can go into different areas. Remember that the title that you put into Periscope is why people have gone into your broadcast, and it's what they're there to do. It's why they've come to listen to you. So try and stay focused. One way to do this, like if you're going to go do a top tips Periscope broadcast, is I write them down on a piece of paper. And then I can just keep looking at my notes and then continue on that focus so I can give the 5 top tips without forgetting what I'm doing or scratching my head. Okay? Tip 5, okay, is to definitely make sure that you keep still, okay? Because if you're moving around all the time and moving your phone, it's really awkward for people, especially if you're holding a phone, because then you just look like you're doing this and it looks like you're taking, and all of a sudden the camera's out of focus, no one knows what you're doing. It looks like you're following a farmer on Periscope. Okay, so be really careful to keep still. Smartphones are great, but they're digital. So the more still you can keep them, the better. A top tip for this is to bring back the selfie stick. Do you know what? Selfie sticks are terrible, but actually to hold your smartphone still, they're brilliant. There's a great tip for using Periscope is to stick it in a selfie stick. You have a really still broadcast. Tip 6 is to use your headphones. You know those headphones you get with your smartphone that you probably never used? You know the white ones, the trendy ones? If you plug them into your phone and put them in your ears, the microphone is just there. Certainly on an Apple iPhone anyway. It gives a really crisp, clear sound, especially if you're doing an outside broadcast and you're wandering the streets. Otherwise you get all that ambient noise going into your smartphone. So it helps people hear what you're talking about, not necessarily what all the other people around you are talking about. So that's a great tip if you're out and about doing scopes. Tip 7 is to scope when you're in the zone. You know when you're having that day, when you've had that meeting, you've had that great idea. That is a great time to scope. That is when you're on it. That's when you're going to be so excited and so passionate that the energy is going to flow through that smartphone and people are going to get excited. I've done scopes when I've come straight out of a meeting and they've had more hearts and more interaction than any of the other ones because I've just been excited. And people buy into that. People get energized by your excitement. So try and do scopes when you've had a great idea or you're really excited about something. And my last tip is to broadcast your broadcast. The thing with Periscope is you can think, oh, I can just broadcast now. And not many people will know that you're about to do that until it goes on their phone. And they think, oh, the broadcast, oh, I can't quite do it now, I'm driving the car. But if you say, every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I'm going to broadcast about social media tips, people are more likely to tune in. They might put it in their calendar if you're lucky. Also, the consistency helps people to know what's coming. I like the fact that Periscope is very on the moment, and you just think, oh, I'm just going to do a Periscope. But you won't get as many people to your scopes as possible. The ones that are doing it really well, broadcast their broadcasts. So there's 8 tips for you. Tip 1 is wait. Wait for people to get onto your broadcast. Tip 2 is to look down the lens, okay? Don't broadcast like this, it's really off-putting. Tip 3 is to reply to the comments, but maybe if it's really busy, consider just picking a few of them. Tip 4 is have focus. Write down what you're going to do and try and follow some sort of structure, because trust me, Periscopes go all over the place. Tip 5, okay? Tip 5 is keep still. Otherwise your camera goes crazy and people are like really off-put by it. They're trying to focus their phone, it's not good. Tip 6 is use headphones, because that really helps people hear you if you're out and about on a broadcast, especially in the street. And tip 7 is do it when you're in the zone. And it kind of counteracts the tip on tip 8, which is broadcast your broadcast. So sometimes do a broadcast on Periscope when you're really into it, but sometimes maybe just promote your broadcast and broadcast at 7 on a Tuesday so more people know you're going to do it. There's an extra tip here though, use it. Periscope's a fantastic tool and it's a really, really powerful social media platform that you must get into. Watch a few scopes, get a few ideas, take more tips like this and get scoping. Thanks for watching Todd's Tips. I'll see you next time. Cheers.